Welcome to Unwinding with Support Group, a mental health podcast by licensed professionals where we discuss mental health topics from a real-world perspective, all while having a drink. So hang out, have some laughs, enjoy the ride, and maybe learn a bit. Today I have Barefoot pink Moscato to drink. I spiced it up. I tried something new. To be fair and honest, it's yummy. So I will be all right with this one. But with me today, I have Bree, who works in the mental health field. Bree, what you got?
Got a cherry Coke and some water.
Oh, she's double fisting today.
Double fist.
And we also have Kelly, who's an LPC. What do you have today?
I have water and I have another Hendrix, which is their limited edition gin. I'm putting that out there because Hendrix is my favorite and I always give them a shout out.
Nice,
And
nice.
some cherry 7-Up Zero.
All right. You also double fisty.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should have brought a second beverage. I feel like I should have also. All right, Leo. On our theme of covering diagnoses, CCCs, today we're going to cover schizophrenia. So, let's see. What is it? What is it? That's a great. Well, I can tell you it is not what TV tells you it is.
Amen.
That's important. I will tell you it affects about 1% of the population. I can tell you that it disrupts daily functioning, work, relationships, all those good fun things. I can also tell you there's no cure, but there is treatment. So there's that. So what it is, though, is a chronic disorder in the brain that has the individual interpreting reality abnormally, which has symptoms like hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking. Okay, so that's the overall thing. It's broken up into 3 categories, which I find at least one of these labeling it very funny because then I'll have to explain it and whatever. But the first one is the one that most people think of is like the psychotic symptoms. This is the one that is generally portrayed out there in the media and TV. This is the hallucinations. I see things, I hear things that other people don't, or I have delusions. These are firmly held beliefs that are false, but also like I'm paranoid. I'm thinking someone is following me, someone is out to get me. The government is coming to get me. There are messages that have been delivered through my TV specifically for me, things of those natures. That all falls under the psychotic symptoms. This is generally what you see when schizophrenia is portrayed in TV and movies, things like that. Those ones specifically. They don't generally focus on the other 2 categories, which I think is important. So here we go. Then there's the negative symptoms. And you're thinking to yourself, aren't they all negative symptoms? And this is where I have to explain. Negative means the loss of something, not it's just bad. So this is the loss of normal functioning, reduced facial expression, so flat affect. And for those who don't know, ladies, what is affect?
Oh, if you had
It's
asked
just the way
me.
you look, the way you present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The way you look. Yes, it's your
Sorry for
face,
cutting you
yo.
off there, Kelly.
Your face, yo. It's not resting bitch face. It's flat,
No.
yo.
Yep.
Lack of motivation, no, social withdrawal, and minimal speech. Those are negative. See, lack of something. Got it? See, loss of something. Hence the negative symptoms. And then these are also followed like into there are the cognitive symptoms, which follow memory, focus, attention. And then all of these make it hard to process information and make decisions. Along with these, follow into like confused speech, often like word salad, illogical thinking, and bizarre behavior. And bizarre behavior isn't like bizarre necessarily like in outrageous, it's bizarre for that person. And so that's on a spectrum. What would be bizarre for me might not be bizarre for you. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, what causes schizophrenia? Because everybody I've ever met with a mental health diagnosis always says, why? Why? Why me? How did this get here? What's this thing? So here you go. Ready? Genetics. Like every other mental health diagnosis on the planet, genetics play a part. Your brain chemistry and structure, right? Your neurotransmitters. God, those fucking neurotransmitters every time. And your environment. So, like every other mental health disorder, it's your environment and your genetics. Da, 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 dun. For schizophrenia specifically, sometimes it's prenatal exposure to viruses, malnutrition before birth, can be stressful life experiences that may trigger the illness in those that are genetically predisposed. Got it? Cool. All right. So when do we typically see schizophrenia show? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody?
Very early on in like late teens, early 20s, but it can go into late onset as far as into late 20s.
Yep. 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 Usually 16 is the earliest. Absolute latest would be 30, but generally late 20s. And usually they persist for 6 months at least in the first episode. Okay. There we go. That is it. That is the stuff. That is schizophrenia in a nutshell. So there are many places we could go from here. Where would we like to go? Ladies?
Good question. I I've been working with someone who, gosh, maybe for over a year with someone who co-occurring OCD schizophrenia. And the irony here is that I was a lab manager for a BCI lab in Tennessee, and I had organized a conference for a neuroscience organization years ago. And this doctor at Vanderbilt was one of the presenters there. I remember him because he was very nice, and his presentation was on psychotic disorders, specifically schizophrenia. And my client mentioned him to me because my client crossed paths with him. And my client is doing well. Medicine has been tweaked to the point where he no longer has any of the positive or negative symptoms, with the exception of occasional paranoia and delusion bleeding into and latched onto the OCD. Voice completely gone. And for schizophrenia, that's pretty damn good. Like pretty damn good. But what is unique about him is that he's late onset, studied at high-end school overseas, high-end school in United States, like highly intelligent. And I really think that and a lot of people have always talked about the link between mental health and intelligence and creativity. And I do find myself sometimes wondering about this because, whenever I talk to him, John Nash always pops into my head. And you're smiling. But it's true. John Nash always pops into my head because, his path was not as, not much different than his. And I know a lot can be said to the opposite, but do we really know? Because a lot of people with schizophrenia don't have the support that this person does. And that's the kicker. They don't have support. A lot of people with schizophrenia ultimately end up unhoused and without the ability to pay for their medication that could allow them to be able to manage to function, to have healthy, for lack of a better term, healthy lives because medication does work.
It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. Support goes a long way.
It does. And being able to afford medication, making medication affordable, accessible.
Now, calm down.
Ah, no, I'm not getting off of that soapbox. I was watching The Pit the other day.
No shit.
I love The Pit. Love me. Sean Hatosi.
Yeah.
You ever get divorced, babe? Um, just saying. But no, like they touched on that, they have patients coming in and out, on the streets that could use and benefit from their medication. They have street teams that go and they give them medication. They give shots every month to help with this. It's an ongoing problem, but society looks at this particular diagnosis specifically as though it is without help, and it's not.
Big facts. Big facts. Big facts. Free your thoughts.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely agree with the idea of like medication being inaccessible for a lot of folks. I can't remember the exact cost of Invega, but Invega's I know is a big one that's used because it's long acting and can be really beneficial for people. And it's somewhere.
Did we lose her?
I think we did.
Well, while we're waiting to get her back, it's typically costs between $590 and $2,500 per syringe without insurance, depending on the dose.
And when we look at the positive and the negative symptoms combined, a person's life can go down the drain really quickly.
Yeah. So I will tell you the most common dosage is 156 milligrams, which costs about $2,200 if you don't have insurance.
Am I back?
You are
You're back.
And I was just sharing the cost of Invega while we were waiting for you.
Thank you.
You're
What
welcome.
is the cost?
The average cost is $2,200 without insurance.
Is that for the monthly one or is that for
Yeah, that's the monthly injection.
perfect? But yeah, so what I was trying to say is like it's just unreasonable, and the likelihood that a person who is truly struggling with schizophrenia, who life has become unmanageable, they're not able to hold down jobs the way that you or I might be able to, and they're not able to function in the same capacity. And even state programs that may allow them to receive medication on state benefits, you still have to be somewhat functioning in order to maintain that, because you still have to be able to make sure you're doing your recertifications and make sure that you're changing your address when it's time to change your address, or any of the things that you have to do to keep those benefits. And if you're truly sick, then those can be really difficult tasks. And then if you lose your insurance, who the hell has 20 some $100 to pay a month just for your medication? Like that's unrealistic.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, right? So consider schizophrenia. Often people can't work, or if they can, they're working part-time when it's really disabling. So what are we living on then? If we're not working or we're working part-time, what are we living on?
Disability, maybe?
Disability or Social Security.
Mhm.
So if we're living on SSI, then it's $600 a month. If it's SSDI, it's a little more. It can be up to $2,000 a month. Okay.
Mhm.
So I need you to understand. One is $600. One is $2,000. Okay. If it's SSI, there are income limits that they can earn and have and resources. So they're very hindered if it's SSI. If it's SSDI, there aren't those restrictions because they're disabled. Okay. So depending on which one they're approved for, also then limits the other things they can do. And tell me right now in 2026 where the fuck you're going to live if all you can get a month is $600.
Tent City, bitch. Tent City, bitch.
Tent City. Anybody ever tried to get a HUD voucher? Yeah, good luck on that wait list. Again, I'm back to where we living.
Under the bridge. It's a place I love.
Okay.
Take me all the way. And the last I checked, we are currently at war with the unhoused because they're harmful.
Yes, I forgot. They're mentally unstable, so shame on them.
Right. But we put them there.
Also, I want to go back to if you have SSDI and you get $2,000 a month, where the fuck are you still living?
And that's $2,000 if you happen to have a shit ton of work history,
Right?
which you
Right. That's
probably
like the
don't.
max. Like that's the max. If you're right. If you worked forever and have a fuckload of work history and the max you can get is $2,000 a month. Where are you living on $2,000 a month?
You're either paying for your housing and not eating, not having power, or
Even
your
still, though,
water.
most places make you have 2 times the rent.
Yes, that's
Yes,
fair.
exactly. Exactly. So
Tiny
we're
house?
talking about like, yes, this is a debilitating condition, but you can quickly see how much this steamrolls into how much this starts to impact life. Where are we living? Where are we working? We can't hold down a job. Oh, we're fucked. Where are we living?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we living?
Yep.
Yes, I know there are programs. I understand that CMHs, and for those of you who don't know, that's community mental health, do their best to try to support these things. But there's only so many programs that can help people find housing because there's only so many housing.
And to that end, there are families that are willing to support their family members, but let's say that, for instance, an individual is hearing a voice that is saying that the individual's family is trying to harm them or is out to get them, and they're not taking medication or something that is helping to counterbalance that. Their natural inclination for self-preservation might send them running away from the family that would be supportive to them.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Self-preservation. So it's a catch-22.
Yes. Oh, you have people who will help you? Oh, my brain is telling me the people who you're telling me will help me are going to kill me.
Yes.
So why would I go see them?
Yep.
Or worse yet, my brain is telling me if I go around them, I will kill them.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to go around them either way. This is not happening. Like you're understanding like the way that looks, the way that is. So what's the safest bet then? Me to be around strangers on the street? Yeah, that's way safer, unfortunately.
And to self-medicate.
And to self-medicate. And I would like you to explain further what you mean, Kelly.
So the best way that I can put this is, I don't know. Think about it. Like alcohol, coke, meth, heroin, any kind of drug that might quiet down the voice or make you feel some type of way that gives you some kind of release, something. I remember someone that came through a rehab that I worked at, was schizophrenic, and he was trying to get clean, but he didn't want to go on medicine because he had bonded with the voices in his brain, and they were his friends. And that's not uncommon, really, if
No.
you've spent a lot of time, being unmedicated. Um, but his particular drug of choice, if I recall, was meth, which makes sense because a lot of schizophrenia, the psychosis, is an increase in dopamine, just like with meth. And he had just spent his time couch surfing, living in, motel to motel to motel, not being able to get on medication, coming into rehab, getting on medication, trying to stay clean, not being able to afford it, not having anywhere to live, doing what he could, getting, money, being homeless, stay just the cycle, drugs, so on and so forth, just trying to level out and balance out, listening and talking to the voices that he heard in his head. There were three. And they became his friends, and that was his life.
All right. That was a very serious story, but I need you to know that my brain went hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Oh, fuck you.
And it took everything in my soul not to do it while you were talking.
I wish
I
you
would
would
have
have.
just been fucked.
Oh,
Almost like
you
this
know.
very serious story, and my brain's like the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
It's appropriate for this person, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He probably would have done it too. Um,
My
he
brain
would
works in
appreciate that.
song lyrics most of the time.
Oh, that's funny.
But that's a common story. Like that's an
Mhm.
unfortunately common story.
100.
Right? Like, right, we're specifically talking about schizophrenia, but we could substitute any mental health disorder for self-medication and throw something like throw that in there.
Yep.
But it's the one thing that I know. When I worked in community mental health, I worked with quite a few individuals who were diagnosed with schizophrenia. Um, and various levels of functioning because various levels of functioning, right? Various levels of housed individuals as well. And recognizing that there's also a place of how much autonomy, how much do I want my life to be dictated by someone else?
Hmm.
That also starts to come into when you spend your life feeling paranoid for that long. When you've spent a significant portion of time feeling paranoid, and then other people want you to take medication or tell you this is what's best for you, that doesn't always work.
Hmm.
So while you might have people with the best intentions, right? If I believe for so long that people I cared about were out to get me, I'm supposed to believe a stranger somehow isn't. It's a very, very hard thing. Right. And, not everybody's voices are harmful either, by the way, and that's important to know. You know, I had, I worked with someone who told me their voices would just say their name all the time, which would be really fucking annoying.
Oh,
And we
Lord.
talked about it
Hmm.
because you know what it would be like to just randomly hear your fucking voice all day in the back of your head?
Well, to be fair, my OCD has replayed the Spanish word for never over and over and over again, so I
Yeah,
imagine it would be
fucking
very much
annoying.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
Hmm.
annoying. Also, the Spanish word for never, really?
Yeah, nunca. Hmm.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It just
Tell
popped
your
into my.
OCD to get its shit together.
I did, and it was just like nunca, nunca, nunca. Oh my God.
Do you speak Spanish? Like how did or is it just a word you know?
Barely ish, like, and it just popped into my head one day, and I was driving down the freeway, and I was just like, "What?"
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was weird, but yes,
Yeah,
I
so
yeah.
yeah, like that. It just fucking just in the back of your head, like all fucking day long, just saying your fucking name. Dude,
Hmm.
no. Okay, yes, not harmful, annoying as fuck.
Hmm.
I
Stop
worked
it.
with someone who like they didn't say what, it didn't say who, it just said kill all the time.
Ugh.
Not who, not what, not you, not me, not a dog, not a cat, just kill.
You know, I remember I had a professor once who mentioned that or stated that the hallucinations with schizophrenia varied based on country and value
Well,
system.
and culture,
Hmm.
and that would track. That would make sense to me.
So like
That
in like South American cultures, it would be more about perhaps the collective like clean or cleaning.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Like because think about like obviously genetics and environmental things come into play, but like
Hmm.
it's the auditory or visual or whatever, right? Whatever it is based on what you know.
Yes.
So it would be based in your culture, your norms, your societal norms
Which is very telling.
that ours are always kill.
Hmm.
That ours are always kill. Gee, gee.
Oh,
Um, Someone should do a study on that.
well.
It's okay, we pull the funding for it.
Ah!
Ah, that was funny. I entertain myself sometimes. uh, but you're right. Like it really just depends. Like, right? It's based on everything comes from what you know to be true, like in your world. So it'd be an interesting study.
It would.
Or like
Yes.
comparison of like what that looks like. I'm sure it exists somewhere. But yeah. So look, there are lots of barriers. Like Bree brought up medication. We've been talking about housing. We talked about like finances, support. Look,
I think another big one too, though, is just like the idea, and Kelly, you kind of mentioned it, but not necessarily becoming friends with the voices in your head per se, but becoming more comfortable with that being reality than the reality of them not being there. I remember hearing a story about a woman who struggled with schizophrenia for years, like decades, and they finally found a medication that quieted her head completely, where she heard nothing. And she couldn't do it because she was so used to hearing what she was hearing for so long that the silence was scarier than the voices. And I think that that's like a really interesting kind of, I don't know, way of living. It was her decision that she wanted at least some of the voices around, right? But how do you kind of navigate what life looks like in a complete 180? Most people can't handle that. I don't think I could handle that. Going one way for 20, 30 years and then all of a sudden being a completely different way, like that would be really hard to adjust to.
For sure.
yeah. It would be shock to the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and if we think about what we know anyways about how people function, right? Well, change is hard. Let's just acknowledge that. But also we are tend to be safe or to feel safe in things that we're used to, whether they're good for us or not.
Yeah, the comfortable familiar.
Uh-huh. So it would make sense if we've spent half your life with chatter in your head and then to wake up one day and it just be crickets, there's nothing, and that's foreign to you. And the level of distress that probably brings would be high because that's abnormal.
And oftentimes people will name the voices,
Oh, yeah.
or the
No,
voices name themselves.
yeah. Now, please notice this difference in like DID,
Yes, 100%.
which, we'll get into one day. So, but yeah, but how many people have talked about the full-fledged conversations they've gotten into with the voices in their head, right? It's a comfort. It's like, right. And I mean this, like we all talk to ourselves. It's a common thing. Whether we do it out loud or we do it internally, we all talk to ourselves. It's a thing we do, right? People with schizophrenia tend to talk to ourselves and get a response in a voice that's not theirs.
It's almost like you're never really alone.
Yeah, and so if you all of a sudden wake up one day and it's quiet, you never experienced aloneness in that level before, which is terrifying to people. And I get that. Which is why medication and therapy are always the recommendations, for sure. Because it isn't therapy and medication, not one or the other. It is both.
Yep. My client told me the other day that the voice was gone completely. And I was like, really? Completely? And he was like, And I was like, how is that? He was like, and I can't remember the exact wording. It's just is different. Different.
Different, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be the equivalent for you of waking up and your OCD just is gone.
Right? Yeah.
No chitter chatter in there like, hey,
What if?
what about?
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered?
I thought I was gonna have a seizure in my sleep last night for no reason whatsoever. So, that'd be lovely. But my brain would still be searching for something else. And I imagine it to be very similar. Like, where did you go? Are you around?
You playing peekaboo?
Yeah, like peekaboo.
Like, hey,
Kendrick,
come out, wherever you are.
peekaboo. Sorry, I can't with every time I hear that I think of Kendrick. Peekaboo.
I just imagine like somebody as a kid going, Ollie, Ollie, accent free, where the fuck are you? Get out here. Fuck, I can't find you anymore. Sick of this bullshit. Looking in my head for 20 minutes for you.
No, if you don't come out right now, I'm going home.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Mom, come out, come out and play.
Yeah, good Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Uh, but you know, South Park is down the road from Bree.
Oh, it is.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. She's down the road from South Park. I live in the same town as the Simpsons. It's fine.
I I live in the same town as Notre Dame.
Ugh.
That's what everybody says. So,
Yeah, you could have had something. You needed to find something cool.
I claim, listen, everybody
Listen.
out there. I am from Southwest Virginia. Okay. Old Dominion right here. That's all that needs to be said. I'm Appalachian. We'll leave it at that.
She literally has nothing cool about where she lives, is what she's trying to say.
No, except for Appalachia. We'll leave it at that.
Uh, she is the cool where she's lived. That's, I think, is what she's trying to say.
I'm from the cool place.
From the cool place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys know why they picked Springfield for The Simpsons?
Actually, no.
Because almost every state has one.
Really? I kind of think I knew that, but really?
Yeah, that's fine.
Huh. I love The
So it could be
Simpsons.
anywhere
Wait.
USA. Pick a state. Springfield.
I loved The Simpsons until I heard about their connection to the Epstein files, and now I'm kind of like, is this real? Is it
Well, it
not?
explains why they're predicting all the future.
That's fair. So are they doing us a solid? Is that what they were doing? Were they an insider like Michael Jackson seemed to be? Hmm?
They were like, listen, we're gonna go undercover.
Mm-hmm.
We got this.
Mm.
We'll take one for the team.
That would have been a good YouTube moment right there.
That would have been a good. All right, we digress per usual. But no, I think it's important to recognize, like, look, people with schizophrenia are still just people.
Yes, absolutely.
While they are portrayed very specific ways in the media, they are not that way,
Hmm.
right? They're people. Sometimes they have good days and sometimes they have bad days, but I'm pretty sure same.
Mm-hmm. Like, statistically speaking, they are very unlikely to kill you. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
the media portrays it as though they're very likely to kill you.
You know what? My Google search is really sus.
Are you looking up crimes committed by people with schizophrenia?
Oh yeah.
I do think the media demonizes schizophrenia more than anything else.
Very much so.
And just this idea that if you're schizophrenic, you're automatically dangerous, which is very interesting.
All right, here we go. This is super important. This is my PSA for the week. Homicides by individuals with schizophrenia are extremely rare. 1 in 14 million per year.
Told you so.
People with severe mental illnesses are only responsible for about 10% of all U.S. homicides. They are much more likely to be victims than perpetrators.
Told you so. Bree is right. That is a media like portrayal of or manipulation of, I don't want to say the facts because it's not really the facts. It's just it's a media manipulation of a diagnosis. And it makes people scared of people who have it, and perhaps as a result, they're demonized and they don't get the help that they need. And so we end up in the cycle that we have just discussed with people on the streets.
Okay. People with severe mental illnesses are nearly 5 times more likely to be victims of homicide.
That's a crazy high number.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Adults with severe mental illness are victims of violent crimes at a rate of 25.32% compared to 2.79% of the general population. 1 in 4 individuals with severe mental illness of adults are killed by the police in the U.S. a year. Well, yeah. So there's that. Happy news. So I go back to you. people with schizophrenia are less dangerous to you than the police.
Mm-hmm.
The police are a danger to them.
Yeah, they really are.
But again, this is because we have the police showing up to mental health like events that they are not trained for, and I will stand by that.
So will I.
They are not trained to handle mental health crisis, and this is why more people get shot with a mental health crisis in this country than. But they're not trained for that. It's why in places where they have a crisis response unit with mental health providers that go out on those calls, those numbers are significantly lower.
Yep.
Oh, I understand that maybe it is difficult to interact with someone who might have schizophrenia because they are different. They may say weird things. You might be talking about somebody you have no the fuck clue what they're talking about, and they're acting like they're standing right next to you. I grasp that. They're not dangerous to you.
No,
It just might be uncomfortable.
you just roll with it.
And I understand that uncomfortableness is hard sometimes, but they're still people with feelings. And you wouldn't like it if someone treated you poorly either. So I feel like at some point we could maybe get back to the treat someone like you would like to be treated thing that we were all taught in fucking kindergarten. And it would apply here. It's not difficult to be nice to someone
No, it costs $0.
I mean, it also costs $0 to be a dick, and I get that. But it also it gains you nothing to be mean to someone just because they're different from you. And if like being an asshole to someone with a severe mental health disorder makes you an extra dick because you gain nothing from that. They're not a threat to you. Even when they're yelling and screaming and having a whole thing. If you just leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. They can't regulate their emotion. It's fine. Walk the fuck away. It's gonna be okay. And that really is the thing that I have to say on that. You don't gotta be a dick. They're less of a threat to you than the average person on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts, ladies?
I remember this one dude, again at the rehab that I worked at, who we had to call the police on. And the police officers actually turned out to be very, very nice, very understanding. And I don't know if it was because we waited with him. I guess we'll never know. But they were calm and kind of understanding and very genial with him. Even when he got a little belligerent with them, they were still like, "Okay, brother, it's cool." And it could have been because we were standing there watching them, which fair. It is Tennessee, but it, I remember the feeling that I had watching them was not one of appeasement of us, but one of honest, like, understanding that he was not well, if that makes sense. And we're just gonna roll with whatever's going on and get him to the place that he needs to go to. Because I remember leaving that night, having worked over, thinking, okay, this is one of the first times that I'm not a cab. Like, they handled it well, they handled it in a way that was trauma focused and understanding that the gentleman wasn't lashing out at them, was not a threat to them, was just not okay in that moment. And I remember being really, really happy with that particular outcome. And
Yeah, that is awesome.
yeah, no, that stuck with me because that's a rarity.
Yeah.
And again, I wish I could say that that happens more and more, but it doesn't. And I don't know if it's because there aren't witnesses or there isn't enough training or both.
Yeah.
And that's my question. That's my final, I guess, question. What needs to happen here to make this, a thing? Does there need to be more training, more ride-alongs,
We need to not have cops do this.
or cops secondary do it?
Secondary to it.
Yep,
It should not be the first responders in these cases. It
I
should be
agree.
us.
Cops only stepping in if there is any hint at actual violence.
It should be us. We're the ones trying to deal with
Hmm.
mental health crisis. We should be the ones who are showing up to mental health crisis. It should be us. There should be units with every police station in every city that does that.
I don't disagree with you at all, but yet here we are.
I know.
And
We asked the cop, like, listen, we ask cops to do too much, so they cannot be trained to do everything effectively. And this is one of those areas. This is
but
one of
yet
those areas.
one of the things that I've noticed about cops is that they want to do too much.
Oh, I didn't say. Different conversation. Different conversation.
But
Different conversation.
but yes, no, I agree. Mobile
Um,
crisis is very important.
yeah, well, it should be us. Should be. Oh, there's a domestic. Yeah, that should be us too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cops make that shit worse every time.
Yep. If it's a domestic, like personally, I think they should be hidden out of
Yeah.
sight
I'm
with
not
us
saying they
going,
shouldn't roll up, but I'm just not saying like,
yeah,
hey,
out of sight. Out of
right.
sight because we're more likely to be able to calm that shit down if they don't see the police there.
My whole job is to be like, yo, dude, what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck you doing? Oh, you're at a level 72? Could we not?
Yeah. No, I've dialed down domestics myself like
Can we just
crazy.
not be at 72, please?
Yeah.
I
Calm
get
it.
it. She's done pissed you off.
Yeah.
Can
Y'all
we just not
separate.
can we just not shoot her today?
You go over there. You go over there. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you. But if you see a cop, you automatically think authority and you get tense.
Exactly. I could have saying. So no, it should be us. It should be a unit with every fucking police department in every fucking city and town. And that is real. And probably more calls than not, the mobile crisis unit would go on than cops.
Hmm.
And I think that is the issue, actually.
I would 100% agree.
So, and I don't need a gun for that.
Hell no.
I just need to run my mouth.
The squirt bottle at
Brr, 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 brr,
most.
brr. I
No.
will. I will throw a stress ball at your face if you don't fucking knock it off.
I'm a squirt bottle lady myself.
I think I literally told a client on Monday, I swear to God, I will come through this screen if you don't knock your shit off. And he said, did I just win therapy? My therapist just threatened to come through the screen.
Oh, you're like, no.
I was like, maybe for this week.
Oh,
One
it's
this
funny.
week. I got you next week.
What about you, Bree?
I don't know. My final thoughts are just like Arlene said, you just got to be nice to people. It's really, it changes a lot of things when people have kindness. Even if we can't fix the things that are going wrong in their life, you can still be kind, and that really changes people's outlook on things. And as we've talked about, people like that are struggling with schizophrenia are not necessarily dangerous. So what's really the point in being anything but kind? They're going through a battle that you can't understand unless you also struggle with schizophrenia. And even then, you're not in their mind. So their schizophrenia looks a little different than yours. So why not be anything but kind? And also a little understanding of the immense amount of barriers it takes for somebody to get better. I think people really just think, well, if they would just take their medication, it wouldn't be a problem anymore. It's not really how this works, as we've discussed. There's a lot more things that go into that and maintaining that. So being a little understanding and a lot more kind.
Yeah.
Yep. And that is where we'll wrap that up on that note. So, as per usual, give us a like, a follow, share. If you think someone can benefit from this information, if you're like, stop being a dick, pass this along, good message. Share with your friends, your enemies, keep it spicy. Give us a like, a share, a comment, you know, those kind of things. We do appreciate those things. But as usual, we appreciate you guys hanging out. And ladies, as usual, I appreciate you guys being here with me.
Always.
Always.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Unwinding with Support Group. Follow us on Substack. Give us a like, a follow. Give us a comment. Tell us what you hated, what you like, what you want us to talk about next. Let everybody know where they can find us too. But thanks for hanging out with us once again.